Welcome back, Gunners, to Guna Pavilion. And today's episode, we'll be talking about all of Arsenal's pipeline. This is a young Gunners lighting it up in the Hale End in 2025. And those that we probably should be keeping an eye on are some Arsenal players that potentially could be making the first team. I know it's all about the offseason, all about the transfer window and who can Arsenal potentially get to come in. But there are players that we've seen already who are making the step up into the first team. So there's going to be a two-part series. Part one, I'm going to look at a couple of players, and we're going to go across both the under 18s and the under 21s as well. So obviously, we start off first with Ethan Nwaneri. I think everyone has seen what a prolific player he's potentially going to be in Arsenal. Already breaking into the first team, especially when Saka was out injured. He's 18. He scored 9 goals in all competitions this season, and he's playing a starring role in the England's under 21. And he's been consistently training with the first team squad all season. I know when Saka got fit and got back into the squad, he had these sore minutes. But I think that's okay for a young player, who's 18. You really don't want to burn him out too quickly at that age. For someone who no one expected to play a lot of games, to play that many significant games, and to be able to add an influence to the team. I think for me, he's still got a lot to do, still got a lot to improve, but it reminds me of a cross between a Jack Wilshere and also the vision of Ozil, and that's potentially where he can be. I think he can play, that in that left or right side attacking third, in a 4-3-3 system. So it's going to remain to see. People are talking about him being the understudy to Odegaard, and I do see that. I'm hoping that he can get a few more minutes in the squad and play a few more games next season. I think that's one, we'll be looking out for. How many minutes does Ethan Nwaneri get in the Arsenal first team? And then, of course, next, to him is no other person than Myles Lewis-Skelly. I was just watching the England game against Senegal that England lost. And, Myles Lewis-Skelly played in that game. And I think you can almost say that, while he's potentially a midfielder, I think left back might be the place that he plays long term. Already starting for Arsenal, keeping the likes of Ricardo Calafiori out of the squad, Zinchenko out of the squad as well, and even Timber to an extent out of the squad. So I think you can say that he's really done well for himself, and probably he should be the number one, in terms of when I'm doing this. But I think I'm always biased towards offensive players, but I like Myles Lewis-Skelly a lot. He's quick on the turn. He has a strong recovery and calm under pressure. So he can play in a lot of the inverted systems that Arteta wants to play. So definitely, I think he's already in the first team as well. So those two are obviously the obvious ones. So we're going to look at some of the ones that are not so obvious in terms of their prospects and their potential of getting into the Arsenal first team. First start, let's do Jack Porter. He played in the Carabao game for us, and he's only 16. And I think there's a lot of noise about him. Coaches are raving about his maturity, his decision making. These are things that are very rare, for young goalkeepers. Being calm under pressure, sharp reflexes, excellent positioning. I was a little bit worried when he was thrown into that Carabao game, but I thought he acquitted himself quite well in that game. Potentially could be Arsenal number 2 if his development continues. Maybe even a long-term successor to Raya, but hey, I don't trust Arsenal not to screw this up, especially their record against goalkeepers. Now let's talk about another player who is fast. Um, and when I say fast, I mean he's quite electric in his pace. He dribbles quite a bit. He's been on the bench in a couple of Champions League games, and that's Ismail Kabia. He's raw, confident, a bit like Gnabry before Gnabry broke through. Um, I think next season he would be good for him to get a few more rotational spots, perhaps in the league or cup games as well. And it's a chance to rest some of our wide players, if possible, and give us a little bit of depth in that part of the field. So Ismail Kabaya, I think he's another one who's been training with the first team. And so those are four players we're looking at in part one. And let me know what you think about each of these players. Who do you like the most? Clearly, I know a lot of people will be looking at Nwaneri and Myles Lewis-Skelly. But what do you think about Jack Porter and also Ismail Kabia? Stay tuned and look out for part two of this section where I'll look at a few other players as well. Max Dowman, definitely one of the highest profile of the players I'll be looking at. Okay, welcome to Guna Pavilion, and it's part two of the Young Gunners, who are the guys who are going to step into the first team in potentially 2026 and beyond. So we're going to start with Max Dowman. I think everyone is talking about this kid as potentially, one of the best players to come out of Hale End. Arteta has already said he's got big talent as well. He scored in the UEFA Youth League and started for England under 17, and he's only 15. He's playing like a player who's 5 years older than his age. So, think about a young Cesc Fabregas, a lot of tempo, control, vision, passing range. Long-term development 8, I would say, in terms of his position on the pitch. Somewhere between Xhaka and even, Arteta himself. So Max Dowman is a lot of promise. I really want to see him in the preseason, getting lots of games as well, potentially pushing into that first team squad. Now, there's another player that is not probably as popular, but he's making the rounds, especially in the under 18s as well, and that's Andre Harriman-Annous. He's 17 and he scored 17 goals in all competition last season. He's got his first England call up to the under 18, and this one is a forward. It's a forward with hold up play. He can dribble, got aerial strength. Probably the reason why Arsenal was happy to let Chido Obi go to Manchester United. I think he could potentially, develop. Again, I'm not very confident about how Arsenal develop strikers. We've not really seen anyone come through the youth system. You look at the likes of Ketia that was let go, and then Balogun as well that was let go as well. So I hope Arsenal, allow the kids to develop properly, and we can potentially see him in the first team. We could save Arsenal lots and lots of money if that ever happens. Another player, not well known, but did very well last season, is Dan Casey. He's an attacking midfielder, scored 18 goals in the under 18 games last season. So you could say he's a bit of a goal machine, right? And a lot of comparisons to Ramsey, for flair, walk rate, driving to the box. I think one to watch for direct support to the front line. Attacking midfielder is a very difficult position to break into for Arsenal, and that's my only worry for him, because you've got the likes of Nwaneri already ahead of him. You've got Odegaard, who's a club captain, who plays in that position as well. So there's potential for him to come into the team in cup games. I really want to see him play, because if you score that many goals, it gives me an indication that you might know what you're doing and you might have a knack of being in the right place at the right time to stick the ball in the back of the net. So I think that, I'd love to see a little bit more of Dan Casey as well next season. Let's talk another player. He's 16. He's fast. He's a left winger, and he scored goals and he's made assists at the under 18 level, and that's Brando Bailey-Joseph. People compare him to Bukayo Saka in terms of the direct play as well. Excellent first step, dribbling. And I think he's already being schooled in that whole inverted role, so he plays that very well, and he can play wide roles as well. So again, another player that I would hope that will make the step into the first team. At least I would love to see all of these players in the preseason game when the season is about to kick off in 2025-2026 season. And the final player I want to look at is Marley Salmon. He's a 15-year-old centre back. He's played in the under 21 Premier League. And it's a rare age for a defender, right? He's tall, composed, excellent positional sense as well. You start to dream about a future pairing with Saliba. I know it's very early. The boy is only 15. But if he can continue to grow and continue to develop, I don't see any reason why he can't make that next step into the first team. I think defenders are one of those, positions that if you play well, especially if you've got the stature, you've got the build, you can almost get into the team. It's very rare to find very good defenders. And with the sort of promise that Salmon is showing, I anticipate that he could break into the Arsenal team. I know that room is a bit crowded right now, but I think there's potential space for him to break in as well. And there you have it, guys. Those are my top 8 players that I expect to break into the Arsenal first team, anytime soon. What are your own top players? Who is on this list? Who do you disagree with? I'd like to hear all of that in the comment section as well. I think Hale End has to be given a lot of credit. Per Mertesacker has to be given a lot of credit for what he's doing in terms of allowing these players the opportunity to potentially, put on an Arsenal first team jersey as well. So, which of these players excite you? Are you backing the wingers or the midfielders or the future goalkeeper? Put your comments in the comment section as well. And that's it for this episode of the Young Gunners, those who are going to step up into the first team potentially. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, tell your mate, share this along, and let's grow this channel. Let's keep an eye on these players.